All right, all you snowboarders of the internet. We're here, we're live, we're taking your questions, so get them in the chat box wherever they appear. I'm going to try to answer them. You know how this goes over here. And yeah, that's where we're at. Unfortunately, I heard the news that Europe has basically fucked everyone from snow sliding. I'm sorry. I'm truthfully sorry for you guys. I will try to snowboard in your honor and keep you entertained by putting out as much content as I possibly can. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, if you have questions, so we'll just get them in the chat and see. And evidently, since this is a whole week of Kookery for everyone that's watching this, because we got the top 5 kooks. I've been informed that someone decided to go airborne and hit the chairlift at Copper and cause it to be shut down because they pointed it and I don't know how much fucking speed you have to hit American Flyer to launch and hit the actual chair. I mean, it's possible in 2 spots, but holy fuck, you hit you caused the chair to stop because you went so fast you hit it because you were out of control. That's some next level kookery. I don't understand these things. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay. And J-Raz wants everyone to know she marked herself safe from kooks and Copper today. So did I. I had to deal with a kook named Matt Leslie in the parking situation in the peasant lot today. Because evidently you're not supposed to park front row like I've been doing, 35 days this season. It's for oversized vehicles. Smash the like button, people. Yeah, no. Kid decided that he wanted to tell me that I couldn't park there. As other people pulled in and parked and he didn't say anything to him. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I Karen'd his ass. I was like, I need your boss's name. And he's like, well, there's my foreman. I was like, no, I need his boss's name. End of discussion. Fuck those people. Let's see. Ugh. Okay. ProRec Athletics. Best binding for the Party Wave Plus. The 3 bindings that I would consider to put on there, your Union Strata. I would look at the Now times Yes binding, or maybe a Recon, but probably the Now times Yes as well, and a Burton Malavita on there. Those would be the 3 that I would look at for that. So there we go. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, Op Freakex. What's a good workout to ride looser? After 6 days of riding, I felt myself and looked a bit stiff and upright. You need to stretch more. You need to do more yoga stretches. Get yourself limber and loose. You could always take a page from the J-Raz diet of how to snowboard by just downing a 1/5 of vodka before you go ride. That makes you really loose. Also, you might fly off the resort and hit a chairlift and cause it to stop. I don't know. These things happen. But yeah, if you're feeling that you're a little stiff, it's probably because you're locking yourself and you're not going with the flow. So you're just more rigid as you come into things. I have that problem with my upper body. I get very rigid. I'm okay with it. Sometimes you just have to embrace it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. Where were we? Undead, warranted a 2020 headspace. They offered to send the same thing or a 2021 model. I heard the 2021 model was softer and not great with jumps. Do you have any more info on the 2021 or any experience on it? They didn't change it. I talked to my rep, and he's like, no, they didn't change anything. So it shouldn't have changed. If anyone's saying that, it's probably some reviewer that rode one that was too small or just has no frame of fucking reference on anything. So, oh yeah. Let's see. What's that blackboard behind me? That is the dinosaurs will die wizard stick right there. It's actually purple. Purple. It's very, very purple. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Drew Wisner. X Games officially canceled here the other day. I've been looking forward to seeing guys like Zeb Powell. Are the pros overly affected by stuff like this being canceled? They're all at fucking Copper, bitching and moaning that the resort should be fucking closed so that they can train. And by every one of them bitching, I mean Janice Spiteri. Fuck her. I don't really give a shit about her. It does affect them because if you're competing, there's a chance, like depending what category you're competing in, you could be winning anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. I mean, couldn't we all use $25,000 right now? That could take a serious hit for us. So it sucks. That's the way it is. I think the Colorado Sun. I actually put an article, a link down below in the description. Came out and said that the funny thing is that they've ruled or they've figured out that COVID when skiing and snowboarding outside, no transmission. It's everything else associated, like the après scene, the drinking, partying, and shit like that, is what's causing spread. But the actual act of being on the hill, proven to not spread it, which sucks for Europe because you guys are all shut down, and I'm really sorry. Like that sucks. That really, really sucks. So let's give Drew a spin here. Ooh, fire cures all, including herpes. All right. Let's see. Oh, this is a good question from Derek NG. Hey, Avran, what's the process when designing a board? Do you start with what terrain it's supposed to tackle, shape, price point? Boards like the Pig series look like it started with the shape first. It really comes down to who's designing it and if it's being designed by committee or if it's just like someone going rogue at a company or if it's just they're like, fuck it, we thought it would be a cool thing to do, so we did it. I know I've got friends that happy little accidents have resulted in boards being built that everyone loved. Like the ride algorithm, that's one where they weren't going to put that in the line. The board designer had kind of just played around with it and was like, yeah, I think this is something I'm just going to prototype for myself, basically. And they were like, no, we should make this. And then they did. And I think that was just based off of his personal preference with side cut, flex, camber, and everything like that. The Pig series, I'm going to go with, yeah, they definitely did design that by shape. I know with like Telos for the backslash, it was they wanted to see what they could make in a volume shifted board that could still have edge hold. And the shape was kind of like the tip shape was secondary. When I was designing with Nate from Marhar, the Lumberjack, the whole concept behind that and actually the actual design of it is completely different if you saw the hand drawn design that I made for it. But the concept was an ultra wide volume shifted twin that utilized their 3D based technology and their side cut so that it would still grip when you got on a groomer, but it would slide a log easier. It was designed for riding Breckenridge, actually, and hitting the log jibs. And then it just sort of morphed from there. Like the original tip shape, too, that I came up with, it was a more abrupt bend, and then it actually V'd out like the hull of a boat. So what would happen is when you were plowing in fresh snow to hit a log, it would funnel the snow out to the side to keep you tracking perfectly so that you could keep an eye on where things were going. Everyone kind of designs differently. And when it's designed by committee, it tends to be by price point. So they're like, we need a board at $399. We need another one at $430, another one at $460 or something like that. So it kind of bounces around like that. Ramon Mendoza Nunez, will you be testing the new Yes 2020 board this season? Probably not, because we don't get snow in Colorado anymore. And I'm already trying to line up the 2022 stuff. Oh. see. Okay, Alan Poon. Size difference comparison between the 47 and 51. Both same weight range, 90 to 1, same camber profile, similar construction. How will they differ in riding? Pros and cons for either size? Did I miss like another part of the question there? Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know what boards you're talking about. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, no, they could all be different. For all I know, they could all be the same. Fuck. I don't know. Okay, Jonah Herb, what are the main differences in the ride A10 and C10, or the A line and C line in general? Well, so A line's aluminum, C line's composite. The C line tends to, it just looking at it, has a wider chassis to it, so it's got a wider footprint on it than the A line in there. Otherwise, Highback and straps are all the same across the board. They're interchangeable with each other. The only difference is really just that chassis that's in there, and so that's going to change how it rides. I actually rode the C8 and the A8. I've got an A10 and a C10 I need to ride. Those will probably get done next week some point. But the big difference is in how they ride. The other thing is with the A series, there's more dampening foam in there for the cover pad for the binding. So it actually does a good job of dissipating chatter, at least on the A8s that I rode. Okay, Ivan Drago. Is there anything new you're stoked on for next season? I saw Capita was adding a forged carbon inlaid cord to the Black Snowboard Death. I'm wondering how that will change it. Haven't even looked at the catalogs yet. Actually, I really haven't done shit. This week would have been SIA. I would have been at a trade show. Well, no, I wouldn't have been at the trade show. Kevin would have gone to the trade show. And then I would have been like, go pick me up catalogs, you peasant. And then he'd pick me up catalogs. And then I would have been at the On Snow demo next week, hanging out with all of my rep friends, bribing them with booze at Winter Park. Fuck Winter Park. Winter Park sucks. So I really haven't looked at anything yet, and I probably won't for another week or so. I just got the Nitro catalog. They sent me that, and I really haven't. I don't know. Just haven't even. Ooh. Nixon on Super Chat gets a spin. Let's find a good question here. All right, Serafal. Hey, Avran. I've been a camber rider since the start, but friends tell me I should try rocker. I very briefly rode a Never Summer Fun Slinger. It's not a fun board. Didn't like the lack of locked-in feel. Am I missing something? Well, you rode a Never Summer, so right there, you got the crappy version of the reverse into the camber profile because the side cut sits inside the camber zone, so it doesn't engage how it should. It should sit right under the inserts, not inside the inserts. They do ride different. Some people just love camber. It's fine. Like, I love the fact that camber, we've gone full circle and we're coming back to a better version of camber than we've ever had. The big thing, like, you didn't even ride rocker. You literally rode hybrid. You should go try to ride like a flat to rocker, especially in POW, or something that's just got a really stable flat section of rocker, like a Marhar Lumberjack. That would be really good. Or you go take out something like an Arbor Westmark or something that's full reverse. You'll realize that it loads different and it steers more underfoot and everything. It's not for everyone. That's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. I'm like, yeah, it might work for you. It might not. Being a camber guy, the logical progression would be, instead of going from full camber, you go to a cam rocker. So, you got camber into rocker in the tip and the tail. So that way it'll load like traditional camber, but you're going to get better float because you'll engage that rocker. as well as ease of entry in and out of turns. So definitely check that out. And you get a spin of the wheel, my friend. Ooh, lose a turn. That's rough. Okay, Kung Fu Haggis. Hey, Angry, I recently bought a battalion boss as per previous recommendation, and I have Union Contact Pro and Nitro Team Pro. Either these a good fit, or would you recommend a new buy? I would put the Team Pro on there. The Contact Pro is going to be a little too loose for the boss. The Team Pro will give you a little bit more power and drive out there. Go out there and ride that, and then if you're not digging it, maybe go look for a different binding. Jai Wen Tan. Do you think a beginner can handle a Jones Mountain Twin? I am transitioning between greens to blue. No. Just no. Go look at the Frontier, not the Mountain Twin. It's too much board for you. Get in your fucking lane. Know where you are. Don't need to get. I got a bunch of questions this week. Like, I've never snowboarded before. Do you think a Super DOA is a good? I was like, is this a fucking serious question? Like, is this a serious question? You've never snowboarded before and you want to go right to like a top end board. And the best was the guy that was like, I've seen your top 5 video about beginner stuff, and I agree that maybe I shouldn't buy the lowest end. And then he proceeds to go to just the highest end shit he can. I was like, yeah, you just literally skipped a whole mid-level of shit that you need. Like, that's where you need to be, right there. Not up here, right there. That's it. So, yeah. Stephen Tita, do the Burton cartels pair well with the Capita Mercury? Yes. Super chat here from Yellow Backpack Guy. What's the difference between a board collector and a hoarder? Not much. I'll tell you that right now. Some collectors are hoarders and some hoarders are collectors. I think the big difference with a collector is if they have something that doesn't fit their collection, they're willing to pass it on to get it to someone it is, where a hoarder will just friggin' hold on to it for no fucking reason. Like, Kevin was kind of a board hoarder. He's like, look what I got. And I was like, that board sucks. It doesn't even have a good graphic. In fact, no one wants it. But I have it. No, Kevin, you don't need that. Get rid of it. It's awful and stuff. I think if you're really collecting, what you want to do is get something in like those display racks that I have, where you can actually show off the graphic, show off the board, put it around the house, put it in your man cave, put it in the garage, whatever, wherever it is, that you can see it and it's there. And I think that's really the big difference there. So. Remember to wash your hands, people. Wash your hands, wear your masks, and let's keep these resorts open. We don't want to end up like Europe, because I will fucking kill myself if the resort shuts down again. That's not a threat. That's a fucking promise. All right. Just in case. Broke the secondary boa that sucks your heel back in the ride last. So 1 month after warranty was up. Should I just fill the broken boot with 3M foam until I can buy new ones? Or you could pop the knob off, pull the cable out, and put a new one in. You can replace the cable. It's a bitch to do. You'd be better off going to your local shop and just give them $20 and like a 6-pack of beer and be like, here, figure it out. Fucking call me when it's done. I don't get why people are like, oh, the cable broke, it's fucking done. I'm like, unless you snap the fucking knob off, you can relace them. I've relaced so many of my boas over the years. Michael Pham, what is your favorite board you've ridden so far this year? Tell us, Mike Ranquit. I love this thing. This thing was just absolutely phenomenal to ride. Tellus probably isn't getting that back. I'm just going to keep that, I think. So, but yeah, I absolutely love that board. Other standouts, I got on the new Nitro Super Team. I forgot how amazing that board is on edge. I rode the new Ride Berserker yesterday, which the last time I rode that board, they gave me a sample that was screwed up with the camber profile. And so getting on that thing is just so amazing on edge. It's just like one of the smoothest riding boards I've ever been on for just edge transition and how the side cut engages. There's a lot of good stuff. Like, you actively have to try to make shit these days. You really have to fuck up to make shit these days. Ugh. Russell Clamfoth, what do you think about Academy Snowboards? I think Chad O needs to drop some off for me to ride. Okay. Okay, Angelo, is Monarch Mountain worth the drive? If they have snow, yes. They don't have snow right now, so no. All right. All right, we got Old Man Shredder with a super chat. I'm an anti-collector. I own a Burton Descendant and ride it on anything and everywhere. I just need one flat pot plank and I'm good. Yes, you do. There you go. Fuck. I'm just trying to downsize the amount of boards I have in this house. It just never ends. Ooh, reverse spin again. Well, you know the drill, Martin. You won a medium sticker pack, so you got to email me, info@angrysnowboarder, and I will get that in the mail. Mail is running slow out of Denver. It's taking about 2 weeks longer than it should to get stuff, so it's about 4 weeks before stickers are making it to people, I've realized. So just bear with me when I do send stuff out. Just expect 4 to 6 weeks before you see it. Okay. Undead asks, what's the worst board you've tried this year? In all honesty, the worst one I've ridden was the LibTech Quiver Killer. And it wasn't even bad. Like, I cherry picked what boards I was getting this year, so it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get a turd. Because there's boards I can look at and be like, that thing's going to be awful, and I know it. I straight cherry picked the best of the best this year. There's, like, realistically, nothing bad that I've had to ride. Sucks, because normally I like riding a few death sleds just to remind me that there are great boards out there after riding a really shitty one. But, you know, it is what it is. All right, so we got Cavius Spilly in here. Thank you for keeping the Stoke alive. Love you, Daddy. XO, XO. Don't call me Daddy. I don't like that. Good. Loser. There. You get nothing. Daddy doesn't love you. Ugh. Also, there's an overabundance of sugar babies on Bumble these days. Just like, I'm looking for a sugar daddy, you know? It's just like, I'm looking for someone that's in shape, not just a shape. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Robin P, cleaning up on some 1920 sail gear. Is a Burton Genesis too stiff for a Hook Knife Pro? I don't think it's too stiff for it as long as your personal preference is okay. It lacks a little bit of lateral play in there, but the strap is solid. I like the straps on it. The Highback might be a little too stiff. So crank back the forward lean so it's not so aggressive, and you should be good. And yeah, let's see. G-Money, is the D30 base pad and the katanas worth it, or are the vices good enough? The vices are good enough. Like, in all honesty, I own 3 sets of black labels, and the second I rode the vice, I was like, oh, It rides like a slightly downgraded Black Label. Didn't even notice a difference in it at all. Save yourself the $100, buy the Vice. There you go. Okay, where were we? All right, we got Edward Prahula. Can you explain how different core, woods, or materials affect how the board rides? Which is best to use to ollie over fallen skiers? So most boards you actually use like an aspen poplar in there, and it's still a strong wood, but it's going to retain its snap. When you put birch in there, you get a little more spring, and it lessens the weight of the board, but it's not as strong. Same thing with paulownia. So paulownia is a lighter weight wood, but you need to layer it right in the core. So if it's not layered right, like if you have paulownia on the bottom and you ding something hard, I went through this phase for a while when I was doing some product testing where I would just like dents this long and about that wide in the base from landing on a rail. It was just, the core would just suck up in and compress and dent in there. When you start adding like thermoplastics or metal, which thermopolymers, yes, plastic. When you start playing around with stuff like that, it does change the ride in there. Wood is a better dampening agent than plastic, and when you put like metal in the board, it stiffens it up, but it doesn't retain its pop as well. It has what I call inorganic flex. So like when you load the board, it doesn't rebound as fast as a full wood core in there. That was something that when I was working with some of the guys at K2 back in the day, we were talking about it, and I coined the term organic and inorganic flex when the bamboo yacht core came out. I was like, yeah, it's got organic flex to it because there was no carbon in there, so it would have a different rebound rate. And then if you had something that had like carbon or a carbon rod in there, it would spring back even faster. I was like, it's an inorganic flex. You would load it and it would rebound quicker in there. That's kind of the big thing with it. Most people, like, all you need to do is look at it and be like, okay, this is the wood that it's in there. Obviously, paulownia is lighter than aspen. Like, I've seen stupid companies try to use straight hardwoods, and I'm just like, what are you doing? So you get that in there, but for the most part, core construction is pretty dang solid. Like, a company really has to try to fuck that up these days. Okay, what else we got here? Team Tadpole Outdoors. Just got the K2 boundary boots with shred soles. Fit perfect. I have about 8 rides on them. Some rides are perfect, no pain, and others I get arch pain. Any tips? When you're getting in the boot, make sure you adjust the tongue and the liner so it sits evenly in there, so it's not like slightly shifted. Sometimes they shift a little bit in there. And make sure like your internal harness and everything is lined up perfect. It's not pushing down on anything. And just give that uniform tightness, not like you're pulling on one side or the other. If you're on a boa knob, you're leaning into it one way or another. You just want to make sure that you get that consistent flex. The other thing is when you're tightening the boot up, flex your shin and knee out over your toes so you bring it over like that. That's going to pull you back in the heel pocket and lock it down and give it a more consistent, locked-in feel to it. So, yeah. Okay. We got a weird question from Cavius Billy. Have you dated a park ranger? I've always wanted to date one of those chicks. No, but I have a friend that is one, and she's single. I'll horror to you. $50. $50, man. I'll give you her number. $50. I'm joking. I'm not giving her. You get nothing. You get a middle finger. Okay. Answering that question. Josh Dunn, can we get a Can Kevin carve it with one of those ski bikes? No. Kevin's doing other things. We don't have time. I don't feel like filming it. I just don't care. And ski bikes are fucking lame as shit. Not as lame as that fucking ski scooter I saw today, though. If you don't follow me on Instagram, then you're blowing it. I roll up to the top of Peace Park and I look over and this kid's got a fucking, it looks like a snow skate with an extension of a snow skate and a handlebar and then a leash strapped to his waist. And it's a scooter. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is this? So he goes into Peace Park and the first jump is like, seriously, this wide. Like, it's that long of a gap. He goes up and over it. And so I go, and then the second jump is just a straight loading dock step up. So the jump lip is like this high and the roller's back, so you just land on the top of the roller. And I come over that, and homeboy is on the side of the run coming out of the trees, all tangled up in his fucking scooter. Like, and there's like a bomb hole. I think he hit, let go, the leash retracted, he got a handlebar in the gut, went over the handlebars, then slid into the trees. Like, next level fucking kookery. Like, Copper has gotten really kooky this year, and I don't really know what the fuck's going on. Also, on another note, I sprayed 2 squirrels this week on the trail. Like, the last time I got 1 squirrel to spray was probably 10 plus years ago, but I got 2 in a week. Those little fuckers are out on the run looking for their nuts. I don't know what's going on, but they see you and then they just stop and they don't move. So I sprayed the one and then ollied over it as I sprayed through him. And he tumbled like once. But today, that goddamn peasant rodent like flipped 4 or 5 times, got up, and was just like doing I think he was concussed. I'm not sure. I may have given him brain damage. But yeah, so don't just spray skiers, spray squirrels. Seriously, spray squirrels. It's great. Ooh, little finger. That's rough. Let's see. Let's see. We got one from Super Chat from JD. Hey, Avran, I'm looking for a dedicated paddleboard. Looking at the Storm Chaser, is there one you'd recommend? Snowboard for 20 years, 6 foot, 180 pounds, active quiver, canoe billy goat, and LibTech gold member. So the big thing with the Storm Chaser is just how wide it is. You got to ask yourself, if you're only riding that on deep days, you won't have a problem. The second you hit a groomer and stuff, you're going to slightly struggle with that thing edge to edge. That's where I actually think like the Mind Expander, Ultra Mind Expander, Storm Wolf are better boards than the Storm Chaser. Even the Hovercraft from Jones is better just because it gives you a little bit more versatility in it. But I mean, if you're just chasing the deep and that's all it's for, then the Storm Chaser is totally fine with that. I'm a huge fan of the Endeavor Archetype too. I love that board. It's probably one of my favorite power boards out there. Let's see. What else is really good that I've been on recently? Let's see. I'm trying to think. I did just ride the Powder Racer from Spring Break, but that was okay. It wasn't the best. It was okay. Conditions were a little questionable, but it was still okay. But like the Capita Navigator kind of comes to mind as one to check out for a power board. You could do the Ride Super Pig if you wanted to go a little bit stiffer, because it looks like you actually like stiffer boards. Then I'd go to the Ride Mountain Pig. That would be another one. The Rome Ravine Select is a solid one. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What other good power boards have I been on recently? This is it's a low tide year, so I got to dig deep for this one. Well, I mean, the GNU Gremlin is solid too. That would be one I'd definitely consider if you're down with having a more camber dominant power board that you can rip a carve with. That thing's fucking phenomenal. Of course, the Orca, then you're looking at like, if you go with Nitro, You got the fin twin, the pow twin, or yeah, the fin twin, the pow, powder quiver. You can do the banker to an extent as well. There's also the slash in there from them. If you do Rosinal, there's the XV. The XV is actually a really solid powder board, or the Rosinal sashimi. I think I just gave you enough options, so we're just gonna tone it down for a little bit. I don't want to overwhelm you. Ooh, remember to subscribe, people. Remember to subscribe. All right. John Weber, any advice on how to find or know if a shop is good and know what they're doing? Like to support local, but don't know where to start. I live in the butt crack of California, Inland Empire, and most often go to Big Bear. The number one test that I always give a shop, walk in and just ask them what the best snowboard boot is for you. Just go, I just need the best snowboard boot you guys sell for me. If they literally grab a boot off the shelf and look at you and go, this is the only snowboard boot you need, this is the best boot, they're full of fucking shit. The best boot's the one that fits your foot and fits your knees. Now, with being an inland empire, you're probably going to have to go either one of two ways. You're either going to have to go to the mountain or more towards the beach, which is really weird to say, but they do have some good stores out there, like Baker Street Snow. There's that one in Seal Beach. What is that, Incline or something like that? I can't remember off the top of my head. But there's those guys. Big Bear, most of the shops have turned into rental shops. If you go up to Mammoth, you got Wave Rave. You got P3 up there. If you go to Tahoe, you got Arbor Board House right there at the top of Donner Pass, as well as you also got the Donut Shop, which is Corey Smith's store if he's open, which is like Capita C3 stuff in there at least. So you can always check those out. Worst comes to worst, you can always order online too. I mean, you got that option. And if you, just so everyone knows, like I'm going to just throw this out there, I do have a personal shopper experience on angrysnowboarderstore.com. So if you don't have a shop that you trust, but you need solid advice, you can always hire me to just answer your questions on angrysnowboarderstore.com. $5 a quick question, $10 a little more in depth, $15 you got a questionnaire, you answer it, $50 I'll hold your hand and let you be a time vampire and yell at you. That'll be great, you know. So you do have some options there with that type of thing, John. So just kind of gauge it. The other thing is you gotta treat snowboard shops kind of like used car lots at times. Like you gotta walk in. The dead giveaway, look at the person's shoes that's selling you. Skate shoes with a hole in it, that's a kid that probably loves to rip. He skates more because he can't make it to the snow as much. He's gonna have passion. Probably not going to know a lot about technical stuff. Now, if you look down, that guy's wearing like Bruno Mali fucking leather shoes. He's an art salesman. They got fired from his job. His name's Curtis, and your boss hired him, and he's a fucking idiot. You got to find the guy that has to handhold him or that will jump in to save the sale. So always keep an eye out on that. But yeah, look at the shoe wearer. That's really telling of what's going on. If they're wearing Vans kicks, they're not skated on, it's probably just an old guy that's been in the shop forever. He's probably a little grizzled, doesn't want to answer your questions, but he'll help you. He will. So, you know, it's hit or miss, unfortunately. What do we got? Reverse spin again. All right. Well, John, you just won yourself a small sticker pack. So all you got to do is email me info@angrysnowboarder with your mailing address, and I'm going to drop that in the mail for you, and you get some stickers for supporting the channel. So I appreciate that. Let's see. We got some other questions floating around here. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Fucks up with this idiot fucking spamming. Okay, let's see. Dave G, what bindings would you put on the Jones Mind Expander? I have the Now IPO on there, but they felt underpowered. If you wanted to stick with Now, bump yourself up to the Recon. or go to the drive if you want to go a little more stiffer. Otherwise, Rome Katana, Rome DoD. You could do if you wanted to, you could put a Union Atlas, but that might be overpowering it. A Strata would probably be a better binding for that, although you're going to get more lateral play, which probably isn't what you want. I would look at the C8 from Ride as well, or maybe like a K2 Lean AT. Let's see. We got my boy Billy Ray Valentine. R.I.P. L Stackers Adventures. Rest in peace. RIP. California's about to get pounded with snow. I want some J-Raz cookies. Ride customer service sucks. Well, there's one big PSA in there, buddy. Loser. Okay, we got Jordan. Why does LibTech have so many damn models? Surely everything they have overlaps each other. Oh my God, that's the biggest problem with LibTech. So what they do is they'll come out with a model, and it'll do great. Well, let's add HP Construction and raise the price $160. It's selling out at this price. They'll pay $160 more. And that's really what it is like they literally hit too many price points. Their line is too big. Nitros is too big. Burton's is too big. You look at some of these companies and you're like, why the fuck do you have like 48 different models when there's just such marginal fucking differences between it? Like, my theory is you should have the $299 beginner board, a $350 jib board, a $399 park board that's slightly stiffer than the jib board, a $489 park board, a $489 free ride board, a $560 higher end free ride board, and then a POW board that's sub 600. That's realistically what you need. Like, you shouldn't have more than 9 boards in your line. And Mervin's notorious for it, but they hit every single market. They'll be like, oh, well, so-and-so shop doesn't want this at $489, so let's sell them this model as the little brother to it at $439. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Just don't even offer it. Like, it's fucking overkill. It really is. What do we got? R.I.P. to L Stacker's Adventures. Let's take a moment of silence for the troglodyte, L Stacker. Okay, we're good. Let's see. Okay. Peter, you're in Toka. Battalion Party Wave Plus, Bent Metal Transfer, and Ride Lasso. Will it work together? I want to lay some nice trenches, mostly on groomers. Yes. That should. The boot will match the binding, which will match the board. You're good with all 3 of those. Go lay some trenches. Go have some fun. So. Okay, Insularity 1. Any difference between the 2020 and 2021 GNU Gremlin besides the badass blue and badass green top sheets? No. The big difference was that they added more sizes for the 2020, for the late release or whatever, the early release for 2022 for the next seasons. That's the blue top sheet. There's literally no difference in the board. Otherwise, it's just that they added four more sizes, I think is what it is. So it's like 5 sizes total or something. Maybe they added 3 sizes. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Chris W. Hi, Avran. Most carving boards seem to be directional. Are there any twin boards that are carving specific or excel at it? Thanks. I mean, there definitely are ones out there. It's not. Most of them are like a twin directional, so they have just a little bit of setback on a twin side cut in there and the twin flex pattern in it. I've ridden some twins where I'm just like, holy shit. This thing actually rips. Like, I've also ridden some like directional twin type stuff. I was riding the Nitro Super Team the other day, I forgot how amazing that board just is on edge. It is just absolutely fucking phenomenal. But the big thing is you just want to make sure that the board is wide enough that you're not going to boot out, has a decent side cut, and a good flex pattern and camber profile. Whether it's directional, twin directional, or just straight twin, it's really not going to matter too much. Most people aren't going to really notice that difference all that much. And I know some of you are probably waiting for me to say something about Ryan Napton twin from Donick. Yeah, if you want to go buy that, I'm not going to promote it. Like, go do your fucking thing. I just don't give a fuck about that brand. What do we got? All right. Remember to subscribe. And I see we're up to 150 plus people in here. So if you're new to this and you got questions, get them in the chat box. I'm going to try to answer it. Super chats, get a spin of the wheel. You can win sticker prizes and whatnot. Next week, I'm going to try to make an announcement about how to win some kind of prize, whether it's one of these snowboards I've got sitting here or something else. I'm going to try to do a giveaway a month, even if it's at the end of the month. So I know next week, I'm going to try to do something. I might have a video tomorrow kind of outlining some rules to build up to that. But yeah, trying to keep you guys stoked in what is possibly one of the weirdest fucking seasons that we've ever had to deal with. So that's what I'm here for. Hopefully I'm entertaining you guys. Hopefully you checked out that top 5 video this week too. Top 5 signs you're a kook. You guys seem to really like it. Although the kooks have been really triggered because I have definitely had some douche nozzles leaving comments. Like the best one was, oh, we got a guy with an American accent wearing a hat that says Shred talking about kooks. I was like, yeah, I'm wearing a hat for the Shred Foundation, which is having a fundraiser, and the link is down below, so in the description. So check that out if you want to donate to a great charity. We're going to try to help them take their stuff to the next level, and I'm trying to work out something with Danny, the founder, over there that we can tie everything together to do some fundraising for that, because it's a charity I really believe in, and I like the idea that they don't just take kids from the city and just be like, we took you to the hill, and then we took you back to the city, and that's it. It's like they take them to the hill, they teach them skills, they try to get them jobs. Like this will help build the next generation of kids coming into the snowboard industry. And I'm really behind that because we're generation building and we're building a community. So check that link out down below. I think it's the 3rd one in the description if you want to help donate to that charity. The other thing is I'm working on setting up the Discord so that we can just kind of chat all the time and keep the community going. I really want to just build the community a little bit broader here for 2021. So we're going to try to do that. Okay. I think I missed a few super chats up here. Let's see. Zachary Bennett, how much is it normal to spend on new gear annually? It comes down to what you're replacing. Like this year was a really big year for me. So I replaced my goggles, helmet, outerwear, and what else did I pick up? I bought a few snowboards, but that was just to give away, and some bindings and shit to give away for you guys. But the big thing is like you can incrementally buy gear. You don't have to be just like every year you need to get it. And this is something that I see with vlogging culture. Like Kevin from Snowboard Pro Camp is the fucking worst because he literally buys a new snowboard like every 2 months. He's like, I got a new fucking board. And it's like, you didn't fucking need it. Your old one looks fine. Like you should ride it into the ground. And this goes to one of you guys sent me a message on Instagram. It was like, hey, you should do a video about what boards you're riding and stuff like that. And I was like, literally my shit's old. Like it's old. I have a 4-year-old Endeavor Archetype that I just gave away to a friend. I retired it for my use. It's perfect for him. And I'm going to get a new one to replace that. I have a first-year K2 Cool Beam. I have a first-year Tellus Backslash. And I have a almost 4-year-old Rome Warden. No, 3-year-old. I have a 3-year-old Rome Warden. And I've been riding them into the ground. Like that's, like my Cool Beam's probably the one that looks the best out of everything I have. The Endeavor had some big core shots that have been filled. It was starting to decamber and get a little softer. So I gave it to a friend for his first powder board. So we'd have a really decent powder board, which we don't have powder here in Colorado. My backslash probably has 200 plus days on it. It's fucking hammered. That Rome Warden has over 100 days. It's fucking hammered. I ride that shit into the ground. It's like my bindings. I have two first year sets of black labels, and then I've got this year's set of black labels. But I will ride those for probably the next 5-6 seasons. Like those will be the ones that I just ride until they disintegrate, and then I'll be like, okay, it's time to get something new. And I'll literally ride shit. Like the one place I don't skimp on is boots. I'll wait until I see a couple of K2 Thraxis on sale, and I'll just be like, buy. I'll buy like 3 or 4 pairs and just dead stock them so that I've got them, and that way I can just pull the liner out, throw it, shove the old liner right into the shell, and go ride and do that. But yeah, like vloggers are just like, you got to buy new gear like every 20 days of riding, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, my outerwear that I replaced this year, my pants, I'm pretty sure were from Obama's first term, and I ride 100 plus days a year. Those things were just destroyed. And the jacket is 6 years old that I replaced. I've got a puffy jacket that is probably 8-9 years old, and it's just starting to die right around the cuff. It's starting to just shred out, and I'm gonna probably like seam seal it or something, see if I can get another year or two out of it. But I bought a backup of an older version of it that I had that I found someone dead stocked and sold it on eBay for $120, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. I know exactly what jacket that is. So it's just sitting there hanging up, and I'll hold on to it. Goggles, like I destroyed a couple lenses. I destroyed like 4 lenses in about a week and a half, and I was just like, fuck it. Went down to Sun Logic on Main Street, the big goggle shop, just walked in to see my friend Gabby. I had all my frames, and I was like, do they still make lenses for this? She's like, nope. And I was like, okay, pulled this out. She's like, yes. And I was like, let me see what lenses you have for it. And so she's showing me stuff, and I was like, okay, now let me look at, so this is the same model as this one, and this lens will work with this one. Yep. It comes with a spare lens. So I bought a bunch of goggles that had spare lenses, so I could just be like, this frame, low light, this frame, medium light, this frame, bright day, this frame, slightly overcast but bright day, and I replaced all of that shit in there. And I think total, like between outerwear, not counting what I bought for prizes, but like helmet, goggles, stuff like that, I maybe spent somewhere between $800 to $1,000 total, which is fine. Like those goggles, I'll get hundreds of days of use. Like the pair of the goggles that I retired that had the best lens that I liked, I was thinking about it. I paid $80 for them 3-4 years ago. So I got my money's worth out of it. And that's the way I look at it, is like I look at the dollar amount of everything too. So like my jacket, my friend owned a shop at the time. He hooked me up with a deal. So I think I paid like $180 for that. That jacket probably has 600 days on it. It doesn't owe me anything. Like I was paying, pennies on the dollar to ride it. So you got to kind of look at that when you're doing stuff. I mean, there are going to be years where you just spend a lot of money on stuff and you're just like, fuck. But if you space it out right, like, oh, I'm getting this binding, and if I take care of it, I'm going to get 300 days. And let's say you only ride 25 days a year. You're going to get multiple years out of that. Like for me, someone that rides 100 days a year, if I look at something and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pay $300 for this set of bindings, and it's only going to last 100 days. That's fine. I'm paying $3 a day. I'm getting my money's worth out of it. I always look at it in that regard for everything. And I think that's where people, they get this sticker shock and they're just like, $600 for this LibTech. Yeah, but it's a specialized LibTech. It's like my moderator, David, he came out, he bought a Cool Bean. And so I was riding my Cool Bean and he was riding his. And he kept looking at it. He's like, that thing is in really good shape for being a very first year. And I was like, yeah, it's probably got like 250 days on it, And I'm like, but if you take care of it, and he's like, but you ride it. And I was like, I only ride it like 15, 25 days a year, but I'll have that thing for like 10 years. I feel like, I paid $200 for it. I got my money's worth, in that regard. So to answer your question, Zach, I think there's going to be years you spend more and there's going to be years you spend less, but you have to look at it like, not as an investment, but like, I'm going to get X number of days out of this product. So I'm only paying $3, $5, $10 a day to use it. And then if it goes past what you expect it to live for and how long you're going to have it, that just keeps dropping. It's like buying a season pass, people will be like, "Oh, you paid $700 for a season pass," and I was like, "Yeah, but I go 100 days on that pass. I pay $7 a day. You just came in to ride 5 days, and you paid 180 each day for a lift ticket. Like, you know, it's kind of like my Loveland pass. I paid $419 for it, and I looked at the price of day tickets, and then I was like, okay, I only have to go 7 days for it to be equal. I went 11 days on it. I don't have to ride there the rest of the year. If I do, it's a bonus day. So it's just a dollars and cents kind of argument, and there'll be years you spend more, and there'll be years you spend less, and that. But if you upgrade your equipment incrementally, like you'll be like, this year's a board, and I expect to get 100 days, and I only ride 20 days a year out of it. Okay, so you're gonna get 5 years out of that board, right? Then the next year you're like, I'm gonna buy these bindings, and I expect to have these for 200 days. Well, okay, 10 years. It's there's that way to look at things versus this whole like, I need to consume and buy, buy, buy. I'm just like, it's part of the reason like when people are like, hey, I own this board and this binding, do you think it'll work with it or should I buy new? And I'm like, yeah, that'll work, go ride it. I'm trying to talk you out of just unnecessarily spending money. So hopefully that money that you save, you use to buy more lift tickets and go ride and get to enjoy snowboarding more. So yeah, kind of a tangent on that one. Sorry. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Let's see. All right. We got Nicholas Schneider. What happens when you put a stiff binding on a gym needle, i.e., katanas on a battalion wall? You're going to have more power into it, so you're going to have more drive down into the board. It's just a quicker response. So the board is going to lag, but your response is going to pick it up. A lot of it is personal preference. I mean, I've tested the Wally with a set of black labels, which is basically big brother to the katana, and haven't had any problems with it. Remember, fire cures everything. Everything. Okay. All right, we got David Off, Black Dynamite, just stopping by. Miss you, Big Daddy. 21 days so far, 15 of them at Big Snow. Laugh out loud. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? You're shredding. Like, you're getting out and riding. No one can fault you whether you're riding inside of a refrigerator or you're on the hill. You're still snowboarding. You got to look at it that way, man. Fire cures all. Again. Okay, where were we? Okay, from Waco. Quick question. When buying a new helmet, the fit needs to fit. But do you think MIPS or other technologies add benefits, and what tech is just marketing? MIPS does work. I have MIPS in my helmet. That is proven. There's that new wave cell that just came out from Anna. That looks really promising. I mean, other than that, if you actually look at helmets, they talk about the venting. They talk about like the removable padding if it's got speakers and shit. They're almost all uniformly like it has MIPS, it doesn't have MIPS, it's got this, like, that's realistically it. Like, they don't really polish much more bullshit. I mean, very rarely, like, Oakley has a helmet that's like $300 or $500 and shit. But if you look at it, most helmets that most people need are about $150 to $200, and they all have similar tech. They have an ISHC or whatever it is, or ISTC or whatever rating on it, and they're solid. And it just comes down to the fit and the actual shape of the helmet. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, where were we? All right. Ooh, Team Torque. I need some snowboard Stoke. Just got a 4-week Epic Pass suspension for going on a closed run. Ouch. Word of advice: when they tell you to give you your pass, just fucking run. They're rent-a-cops. They can't touch you. They can't do shit. Unless they've called the sheriff and he's waiting for you at the bottom, just fucking run. Leave your fucking car, disappear, ditch your jacket, come back, grab your car, go get your shit, and just leave. Moral of the story: when the fun Nazis come out from fucking Vail Resorts, you don't have to do shit for them. I need to see your pass. You can suck a fart out of my ass. What? You have no... You're a fucking mall cop. Fuck you. Fuck them all. Like today, for some reason, Copper now has slope monitors. Like, they've always had them, but it's usually some octogenarian that's about to die. They got younger ones now. This dude was like just straight. He started stepping at me as I was coming by. I mean, just like fucking on my heel side, just burning past him, just like, what the fuck, dude? Stepping at me, and he got too close, and I was like, come any closer, I'll finish this. Guy stepped right back, and I was just like, they're mall cops. Don't fucking give them your pass. Just fucking ride right off the property. I remember one time I got chased at Breckenridge. This is before I got the second lifetime ban. It's okay. I've been banned more than once. Because, I mean, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You don't do it on School Marm at Keystone. I was just cutting from one peak to the other at Breck, and I see Mountain Safety going like this. I was like, what the fuck? Is he waving me down? What's going on? So I went far right because there was an accident on the far left, and the guy just loses his shit. He's like screaming at me, and he's like, didn't you see it? And I was like, yeah, I saw an accident. I went away from it. Like, why would you steer me into it? Accident here, no accident here. I go here. So I'm trying to use the logic, and the guy's just screaming at me, and I was just like, I looked down, I was like, fuck you, fuck this, I don't give a fuck. Took off. So he's like getting on his skis, and he's just heaving after me and chasing me. And there's an old-ass two-seater that's got a mid-load station, and I'm like, fuck it. I'll just cut down there. And as I'm cutting down, I hear him screaming, I got you now. You get on that chairlift, you're screwed. Well, dude, that's also the property line boundary, and my house is literally one street over from there. So I just went right through the load station and just ollied off the platform, right over the rope with the sign that says ski area boundary, landed in a pow field, right in a creek bed, rode it to the bottom, unstrapped. He's like, you need to come up here. And I was like, or you can come down here and run your face at my fist. I don't really care. I'm going home for the day. And just fucking hiked up through someone's backyard, strapped in on the road, and rode down. You know what? Saw the guy the next day, and he's looking at me, and I'm just like, let's see what you can do. I'll make a fucking scene. I don't care. So fuck them. Fuck them all. They're mall cops. They have no authority. They have none. It's not like they have guns and tasers and shit. Literally, if you don't give them the pass, what are they going to do? Absolutely fucking nothing. So, yeah. There we go. Okay, where were we? Oh, Jesus. I think I skipped a few here. Just want to make sure I'm getting everything. Okay, yeah, here we go. We got a super chat from Patrick. Thoughts on detuning your edges? I did it on my Mercury after eating shit, doing a front board, and kind of regretting it, honestly. Discord sounds dope. I don't detune. I like sharp edges. I grew up on the East. I mean, when most people were trying to dull their edges for rails, Marcus and I were in the tune shop, like putting a 2-degree bevel on our board and be like, gotta have it razor sharp. We're gonna go ride the half pipe. We need the edge hold. They were spraying it with a water hose today to keep it shape. So like I grew up just riding straight, just dialed in razor sharp edges. I'm like You might hook, you might not. The good thing is you can always take it into a shop and have them do the edge, and that'll take the detune right back off. And then after that, you're fine. So, yeah. All right, Patrick, let's give you a spin. All right. Smash that like button, people. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Okay, Jeff Sprague. Ever considered making a video explaining terms used to describe boards, snap, pop, damp, torsional, flex, etc.? Less experienced friends always use them incorrectly or don't know what they mean. Yeah, I have. It's something I want to do in the off season this year. So right now, like pandemic just fucked everything. I'm sitting on like 47 reviews that I've written. I've just got shit I'm trying to film, get out. I talked to Nitro today. I got to finish up the Nitro boards tomorrow or Monday, send them back, and they're sending me another load of Nitro boards and I guess bindings. So I'm just like fucking, I'm all over the place, and I just want a vacation more than anyone. Like, I just want a fucking vacation. So it's on the to-do list. So I'm hoping June, like the end of May to like July, I'm basically just going to take like 6 weeks off from doing anything. I might live stream and that would be it. And well, like top fives, obviously, but I can film those ahead of time and schedule them. But yeah, the goal is during that downtime, I want to refilm all the boot fitting 101 videos. I want to do the boot fitting 201 videos, which is way more advanced boot fitting shit for everyone. I want to do a series of other videos for the summer, get us through the summer, as well as edit all the 2022 reviews that I'm going to hopefully get and get those stacked for like September 15th so that I can just do a massive 100 video drop and watch like 200 people unsubscribe from the channel because they got like 100 emails notifying them about new videos. But it is something I want to do. I think that there are people that have tried to do it and they don't do justice for people. So I just want to be like, this is what this means. This is what this means. This is what this means. And maybe have Randy show up, you know, because who couldn't use a little more Randy in their life? So, yeah. Erica Garcilazo. What do you think about the Mind Expander Twin? I've looked at it. I kind of wish I'd bought one from my local shop because they sold out like in hours. I like the concept of that being a powder twin. I think that's going to sell really well when it goes to full production in the line and it's not an early release. For those people that are always bitching that they can't ride Switch on a Mind Expander because it's too directional, that's who it's going to be kind of for. It's also going to be for those guys that are like hitting the backcountry, hitting jumps, they're spinning and shit, they're doing a lot of pow butters, they're playing around. I think that's who it's really going to be for. Let's see. Oh, well, this ties into the last question. From Andy M. Talking about new boards, how about Jones releasing 3 new limited edition boards, Core Core 2 like the Nitro Highlander, getting your hands on the Jones boards for testing, interesting shape. I haven't talked to my rep. I'm assuming he's got them. They sold out. I was actually looking at the new Aviator 2.0 yesterday. They have that. They had it. They have it. I don't know if it's still there. They have a 59 wide at my local shop, Underground Snowboards in Breck. I don't know if it's shown up over at Gravity at Copper, but I want to ride them. They all look really promising. I like what they're doing there. I like the fact that they released these limited runs and they gave them to small shops to sell. And they were like, hey, these small shops have them. And it was funny going into the shops and seeing people like, hey, do you have this? And they'd be on the phone talking with someone, would walk in and be like, hey, can I buy that right now? And the guy on the phone, it'd be like, well, I'm going to come by. And they're like, someone's here and is going to buy it right now. If you give me your credit card number over the phone, I'll take it. And you can buy it. They're like, no, I don't do that. And they were just like, okay, have a good day. Click, turn right around, swipe the guy's card and be like, here you go. And send them on their way. So it was really interesting to see. I think it's a good concept. They all look solid. I mean, they're all solid choices. I like the idea of an anorexic storm chaser and a shorter lone wolf in there. I like the fact that they did a twin mind expander for the people that want it. I like that they brought back the Aviator and made it Aviator 2.0. I think those are all solid. They're good boards to add to their lineup. Let's see. Cody M, what do you know about the 2022 Mega Mercury? Probably less than you. Someone just told me about it the other day, and I was like, okay, well, I'll tell them to send me one, and we'll see if I get one and I can ride it. All right. Oh, well, I was just got your question, Erica, and you gave me a super chat, so let's just give you a spin. That's how we roll around here. Slim Whitman's mom. Whew. Feel sorry for that woman. All right. Edward Prahula. People should just keep buying socks and masks. Are they wearing the socks as masks? Are they putting them over their heads? I don't know. I got new socks for Christmas. Oh, fucking great. 3 new pairs of Smart Wheels for snowboarding. Mom fucking crushed it this year. Well, all right. You know the drill. You just won yourself a medium. Don't bother emailing me. I know I got your address. I haven't sent out your stuff from last time, so just add it all together. All right. And from my boy, Billy Ray Valentine, R.I.P. Waterpile, rest in peace, R.I.P. Stop putting him in timeout. He's just a child. I'm going to make him the moderator on the Discord channel so he moderates you there and you moderate him here. Ugh. And wash your hands, especially after you wash your ass. Letters. Do you still think La Nina is going to pound us with snow in February? I don't think it's going to be February. I think it's going to be one of these March, April, May scenarios. I've seen it do this weather pattern before. When it hits, it's going to hit hard. And it's going to be solid. But it's going to be one of these late years. And right now, everyone's getting themselves broke off, just getting hurt, not playing it smart. They're like, oh, we got 6 inches of pound. I'm like, on top of a bunch of dead fallen rocks. Be fucking smart. Be smart out there. So, let's see. Okay, we got Adam Harms just showing some support. Well, let's give you a spin, Adam. I appreciate the support. Also, for anyone that does want to do like more support, we do offer angrysnowboarder.vip. It's our VIP service. You get early access to reviews. I take Q&As in there. I take anyone's questions for personal shopper stuff as well, so you can always check that out. And smash the like button, people. Aerobotch, why do skiers saw the back of your board in the lift? Because they're fucking douche canoes. Fuck them. When they do that, pull your board forward, slap it down on their tip, and go, how do you fucking like it, asshole? My favorite was someone with rental skis tried to do that to me. I turned around and I was like, you own those? And they're like, no. And I was like, because I own this. Don't fucking run your shit into it. And they were just like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah, you are sorry because you're pathetic. Ugh. Jason Overmeyer picked up a used board that came with a factory structured base. Previous owner had it waxed. What's the best way to get the structure back? Take some base cleaner and just rub that wax off. That structure is in there. It's in the plastic. You're fine. You're good. Don't worry about it. Sorry. Oh my God, is this a serious question? WTF, I need a new pair of snowboard pants. Can you recommend a brand model that is reasonably priced and won't break after 5 days on the slope? Well, go find ones that fit you, but brands I like. L1, Air Blaster, Burton is solid, 686, Anon, or not Anon, Analog. Sorry, Analog. All solid brands. Okay, where were we? All right. And we got another super chat from Zachary Bennett. Time is money. Thanks for the honesty and all the informative entertainment, man. Here's to the next beer run. I don't drink beer, but I will buy a Poke Bowl with that. Shout out to my local place, Poke Bowl Palace, also known as Guantanamo Bay, or as it actually says on the business name, Castaways Cove in Breckenridge, located under the River Mountain Lodge. You like wontons? You like Poke Bowls? Go to Castaways Cove. And wash your hands. Answer my question. That's dumb. Kenji Yamamoto, do you do any tuning anymore or just take it to the shop? Fuck! I just go and rip a new board out of the wrapper and go ride at this point. I'm just like, oh, who sent me what? Seriously, I don't ride my own stuff anymore. It just come to that conclusion. It's just shit's just always arriving, and that's it. All right, let's see. Keelan Schliff, I usually ride 4 to 6 hour days a season. Got some softer K2 boots last year. How much life do you think they have left in them? If you did 50 days last year and they're softer, maybe they have another 50 in them. Like, realistically, boots, it really depends on, do you tie them tight? Do you walk long distances in them? Do you have, like, weird foot abnormalities? I try to get about 100, 150 days out of a set of boots. Like, I know at the start of the season they're going to be stiff, and by the end of the season, when it's mushy and I want them soft, they're going to be soft. You know, that's kind of the big thing. But the cheaper the boot, the softer the boot, the quicker it's going to break in and become softer still. So, you gotta be prepared for that. William Froud, what do you think about Tech 9 snowboards? I can't believe they're still in fucking business. All right, next question. Marty Lee, hey, is a Jones Ultra Mind Expander going to be as stable in a straight line as a Jones Flagship or Nitro Squash? Why? I think it's going to be actually more stable than the Squash and slightly more stable than the Flagship, just due to the fact of the camber profile on it. It's more camber, and it's actually slightly stiffer than the Flagship. Fuck about that question. Whew, water bottle. Last saw Randy 2 months ago, and I'm still patching drywall holes. Just be happy that he only fucked the drywall and he didn't try to fuck you. Randy just goes for anything these days. He's fucking out there. Cooper Carlson, thoughts on Sandbox as a brand? I was thinking about getting their Legend helmet. Make sure it's a helmet and not a hard hat. That's the big differentiation. They have a hard hat line and they have a helmet line. The hard hat line is not impact rated like a helmet is. Ivan Drago, I literally spent an hour trying to find Zima to send to Avran. Zima is a limited release. They haven't done it in 2 years. The only place in the world that you can get it is Japan, and it only comes in 22-ounce bottles. All right. letters. Just for fun, you get that spin. You gambling addict. What do we got for you? R.I.P. to L. Stacker's Adventures. Julian Banjos, do you snowboard throughout the year or take summers off? So typically my season starts sometime in October if we have a normal year and A Basin opens, and then it goes till pretty much the end of May. By June, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm done. So I take June, July, August off. September's kind of hit or miss. Sometime, even June's kind of hit or miss. I might go up and ride like 3 or 4 times during that if A Basin's still open. Yeah, I pretty much... I don't know, when you ride 150, 200 days a year, why the fuck would I want to ride year-round? I want some downtime. So, actually, 2020 with the pandemic was the most time I've had off of a snowboard since February 25th, 2002. It was the last time I had probably that much time off, and that was the year I ruptured my spleen and got airlifted. All right, let's see. Erica Garcilaso, hey, where's my spin? I don't know, back about 5 minutes. All right, let's see. Dan Rao, out riding my slush slasher today, and the nose seems a bit slow and hard to initiate turns with. Should I move my foot forward, or is that just how the board is? It's a slow initiation, but a quick exit. You got to realize that just due to the width of the nose on there. So you're going to have a slow initiation, but what you need to do is engage off the front foot. Then as you transition your weight through the board and start to center flex it, you're going to end up elevating, just slightly depressuring your front foot so that you're more off the back and you're steering through that midsection of the board. You could move it a little bit more forward, and that might give you what you want. I say try it, but by and large, it's probably more or less the shape of the board and just how you're engaging the turn to begin with. That one. All right, we got Caspian K. Gotta tell us / thanks to your reviews. Effing love it. Fun carving, jumps, loves Pound. Nice guys too. Any new Tell Us board reviews coming? Yeah. This one will be coming hopefully next week. So this is the Mike Rankwit Pro. Love this board. Otherwise, last time I talked to Ben, the CEO, they were going to try to get me, I think, 5 boards. They're dealing with some shipping logistics nightmares. But the good thing is they're actually based out of Denver for their U.S. headquarters. So I'll just drive down to Ben's house and pick some shit up, hopefully, or down to his brother's house and pick some shit up. So hopefully we'll get some stuff, more reviews from them in 2022. Oof. Lose a turn. That's rough. All right. Fuck. Let's see. Where were we? All right. We got my boy Carlos Enriquez down in Aspen. Thanks for the boot fitting 101. After hours of tweaking, I'm riding pain-free for the first time. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's what I want to hear. That is why I did Boot Fitting 101 for all you guys, which if you don't know and you're having boot fit issues, there is a playlist on this channel called Boot Fitting 101, and I go through every possible tweak for basic stuff that you can do to a snowboard boot from years of being a professional boot fitter. Like, I put that out for you. I think I'm probably the only snowboarder that has ever done that and given you every option. But it's out there. I'm going to redo it. Some of the audio is shit. I mean, that is like first gen YouTube stuff that I put out, but it is there for you guys. And I've gotten a lot of people emailing me about stuff, just seeing how they can dial things in. I'm going to redo those videos, and I'm going to do a 201 series eventually hopefully this summer, and just really dive into like different ways to really tweak your boot fit and get you guys 100% dialed in. So I'm stoked to know that my man Carlos down in Aspen has finally written pain free. That is amazing. It's an amazing experience when you don't have boot pain if you've had it like your whole life. So, all right, remember to wash your hands too. Ellen Poon, I like hitting side hits, rollers, small to medium jumps, and butters. Will the Rozzy After Hours be a good fit? I also have 2 twin boards of different camber, one flat, one reverse, and a slush slasher. Yeah, it'll do all that. I mean, realistically, it's a women's powder directional twinish thing. So, yeah. All right. Old Man Shredder just saw a vid on moose attacks in Colorado. Take care there, guys. They looked aggressive. Oh, you don't fuck with a moose. People think they're cute and cuddly and they can just walk up to them. That's the deadliest fucking animal in Colorado. You do not fuck with a moose. People will tell you you can fuck with a moose, and it might just be like, hey, what's up? I'm moosing around. I'm just going to ignore you. And then 1 minute it's like, I'm drunk as fuck and I'm going to kill you. That is a moose. Do not fuck with the moose. You don't fuck with it. You just sort of let it do its thing. Because when it wants to, it will fucking kill you. Like this summer, I had 3 of them in my alley, and I was just like, opened the door and was like, yeah, okay, so that's a thing, and just shut the door and was like, guess I'll leave later. Like 2 hours later, opened the door, still one moose out there. I was like, yep, nope, not leaving. So. Whew. Remember to wash your hands. Okay, Eager K. 3rd time. Let's go. Copy paste. Highback question. Leave them as is or align with the edge. What's the main difference? I am a firm believer in leave them as is. Other people tell you that they rotate them so they're perpendicular to the heel edge because when they drive back, it's going to give more pressure to the edge. That makes no fucking sense. So if you're angled like this and your high back is normally like this, you're going to hit it and engage it, and that's going to give you the right pressure because you're rolling back. If it's over here like this and you're coming back like this, you're not hitting it at the same angle. So you're not putting as much pressure and power into it. It just doesn't make fucking sense to me. Never has. Anytime I've ever rotated high backs, I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage? I feel like I've lost power. Some people swear by it, and I'm just like, whatever. Then you got Mike Ranquit, who doesn't ride high backs, so I'm just saying, personal preference. All right. There. Let's see. Where were we? I feel like I'm missing some stuff. Maybe not. Okay. Ugh. Okay, where are we? Josh Rowinski, what bindings would you recommend for the interior plane project Honolulu? Get a set of Rome vices. You'll thank me for it. Trust me. And then if you want a little more power out of it, check out the Rome Cleaver. Jeff Sprague, hey Avran, is there anything Western riders can learn from riding in the Northeast? I like to imagine it helps build better edge control. It does help build better edge control because you're dealing with that ice. Like, it was funny the other day, I went to the top of Copper and it was all like wind blowing, just straight ice. And this guy was like, it was amazing to see you actually turn up there. And I was just like, yeah, I set an edge and I turned. It's not that fucking hard. You just stay light on your feet and you just learn how to pressure and unpressure and disengage when you need to on it. I will say this: anyone that grew up riding half pipe on the East Coast has the best edge control in the game. The other thing is, people that fall on the East Coast regularly, they seem to be a little tougher when they fall when they go west. They're just like, oh, I fell, and they get up. Whereas someone from the west, they're like, oh, I'm broken and I'm fucking crippled. And you're like, yeah. So, let's see. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, did that question. All right. Okay, Camille Clays. It's midnight here in Belgium and should be studying for exams tomorrow, but instead wondering what bindings I should pair with my Capita Outer Space Living. Can you help me out with it? I can definitely help you out with that. Besides, who gives a fuck about exams? All an exam does is like gets you closer to the diploma, which all it does is tell people that you know how to take standardized tests and retain certain information. But is it really making you critically think? No. Figuring out your bindings? Now that might be critical thinking right there. That's just logic. Okay, so bindings I would recommend. Definitely the Rome Vice. You could do a Union Force if you really want to. Burton Cartel would match up with that really well, or Burton Malavita. I would go with the Ride C8, not the A8. I think the A8 would overpower it, or you could go down to like a C or an A6 from Ride as well. With now, I'd be looking at the Select. I think that would be a really solid one. You could also do the IPO as well. Flux, you might be looking at like a DS from them. I think they still make it. I don't know. They keep changing their names on everything, so I'm just like, with Fix, you'd be looking at a Truce, and I'm going to throw the Nitro Team out there as well. So that hopefully gives you a couple options. All right, Thomas L. Gremlin versus Spam, similar? No, completely fucking different. They ride so different. So first off, the Gremlin is stiffer, more aggressive, grips better on a side cut, lays a harder trench, has more power out of the tail. So when you're leaving a carve, you slingshot out of it. Where the Spam is a little more soft and playful in there. Realistically, if you had a Spam and you were looking for the next generation, you'd go to the GNU Anti-Gravity over the Gremlin. Greg B, if you had to choose between the 21 Battalion Magic Carpet, yeah, that's the one. I'm not even going to ride a 21 Lobster Heldor Pro. I would just get the Magic Carpet. Like, I've never liked the Heldor. Every time I ride it, I'm just like, it's like an evil twin that has Down syndrome. All right. All right. Jimmy McElroy, Gremlin versus Banker, and which one do you prefer? They're really two separate tools that'll get the same job done. If I was going to go rip more bank slalom turns, I'd go with the Banker. And that would be it. Now, if I'm going to go rip more groomer carves, ride some pow, and pop off things, that's where the Gremlin would really come in. So, all right. Caspian K, torn between the Magic Carpet and Evil Twin. Got a few pow boards. Wanted Twin to improve jumps, 180s butters, or should I look at something else? Get that Evil Twin, or if you want something that's going to be a little more playful for butters but still retain some pop, check out the Global Warmer as well from Battalion. If you've already got pow boards, unless you want a pow twin, there's really no reason to get that Magic Carpet. All right. All right. Anyways, we're starting to slow down with questions, but if you've got any, get them in the chat box. I'm going to try to answer them. Super chats, as always, do get a spin of the wheel. And remember, next Thursday we'll be back with the final live stream for January, and we're going to probably give something away. I don't know. I'll figure out something this week. So, yeah. Okay, David B. Any snowboard reviews coming this year? Would like to hear your opinion on the new 343 Camber and core on the S standard compared to the one you tried. I wouldn't count on it at this point. that would probably be a 2022 review. I got to see. So, um, yeah, right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyways, looks like we're slowing down on questions. So hopefully I answered everyone's because I'm going to take a few more and then I'm going to dip out of here. Recommendations for Freeride POW all mountain board. Jones Flagship, Rosinal Sashimi, to an extent, the Endeavor Maverick, Capita Black Snowboard of Death. You could do a GNU Gremlin if you really want to. The Yes Y, I think that's better than the Optimistic, honestly. So there's a few options for you. Marcio Santos, what battalion parkboard has the best pup? Realistically, the one that I enjoy the most is the Disaster. Everyone will tell you it's the Evil Twin, but I'd rather ride the Disaster. I think it engages just a little bit snappier. It's easier to engage, so you just get more snap. Big Bull Trout, I've learned how to ride on a Rome reverb rocker this year. Is the Stolly Mod a good second board to step up to? That's probably too much board for you. Check out the Stolly Cruiser instead. Jeff Sprague, what originally drove you to start Angry, and why do you continue to do it? Because my friend Sarah made a bet with me that I couldn't create something to put my own thoughts into, and I did it as a complete joke to prove her wrong so I could see her boobs. They were nice. And so I did it, and then I stuck with it, and then I did it so long ago, there actually wasn't a way to monetize. Then they created a way to monetize, but you still couldn't make shit for money at it. And then I still kept sticking with it because what else am I going to fucking do with my life? And then this is where I ended up. And now it's facilitating, hopefully I'll be able to do some other endeavors with my life, and we'll go on from there. But the other thing is, there's too many fucking kooks giving shit-ass advice, and it pisses me off to no fucking end. Let's see. Stefan H., did they soften the flex on the GNU Essential Service versus the Mueller? Yes. They added a little more torsional flex to it, and they tweaked the overall core profile, in my opinion. The Essential Service is way better than the Mueller was, the last one that I wrote. It would have been, if he hadn't gone insane, his best pro model. The review will be dropping soon. I may drop it tonight. I don't know. But yeah, that review is filmed, edited, and parked on YouTube. I've just got to make it live for you guys. Let's see. Carlos Enriquez. Any advice for really taking advantage of the grip tech on the Arbor Camber boards? Steer underfoot. Camber, you tend to drive out at the contact points, but most of those have uprise fenders, so you lose that. Try to drive more underfoot. So just assume that when you steer, a lot of torsional flex going down, and you're going to steer more with your ankles versus loading your knees and rolling your ankle out. It's more loading down and steering up and down with your ankle. Whew. All right. You know the drill, Carlos. You won. You got that small sticker pack, guy. All right. Helen Poon, what's your thought on C2 and C2X camber profile? I don't know if I'll like the separate camber zones. Sounds weird. My tiny brain can't comprehend it. What you got to realize is with that, you're going to have independent load zones in there, so you can put more weight on the tail or more weight on the nose when you're going into a turn, and then disengage it and put more pressure into that rear camber zone. The real difference between C2 and C2X is just how long that camber zone is. C2X gives a little more drive and a little more snap, and you notice it especially on edge because you can really slingshot more out of a turn versus just regular C2. Let's see. Let's see what else we got going. Okay, water bottle. Starting to look for a replacement for the 150 Honolulu, but want something a bit beefier. Thinking IPP Odessa or Dinosaurs Will Die Mate. So the Odessa will be fairly comparable to that. You won't notice how much of a difference that is, I think, in realistically. I don't think you will. So that the mate rides similar to the Honolulu, but in all honesty, it flexes a little softer. If you want it beefier, you should probably look at a ride burnout. I think that would be the way to go. All right, let's see what else. Powderhoon, I cut a swallowtail into a Burton custom mystery that had an impacted tail. Over under on how fast it breaks. It depends. Did you seal it or not? And also, if you look at it, if it's built well, unless you impact it right where you cut the edge to cut the swallowtail in, you're probably not going to have too many issues. Like, I've cut enough boards where I'm like, wow, this thing actually still holds up. I say fucking rip it for as long as you can. So, yeah. Let's see. WTF. Cheers. Yes, cheers. Give me a spin of the wheel, bud. And remember to wash your hands, people. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, JRaz, I'd like to know why every board review the Kooks do requires driving from the back foot. Do they not realize they have 2 feet? They don't know how to snowboard. So they ride with all their weight on the back tail. So the nose is elevated constantly. So they steer from that back foot because they don't understand the nuance and subtlety of actually riding it from the front foot. This was something my moderator David and I were talking about when he came out to visit when we were on the Cool Beans, because he was just like, wow, dude, you're just like swooping turns. And I was like, yeah, you steer more underfoot and you engage from your front and you just let that lead in there. They don't know how to fucking ride. And it's the same thing. Like if you watch Kevin from Snowboard Pro Camp, his front leg is sticking out like this while he's bent on his back. So he's just like, he looks like a speed skater about to start from the start line in a race. Like, I don't know how you ride POW with your leg that stiff or how you hit a jump going in that stiff, because he puts all his weight on the back. So he's just hydroplaning the whole way down. It's all bad habits that they've never been able to break. Like, I won't deny, I am fucking atrocious in the park, and I've gotten worse as I get older. But the one thing that I know how to do is turn a fucking snowboard. And I know how to engage, disengage, how to pressure, when not to pressure, and everything. I was thinking about that yesterday when I was riding the new Berserker, because it was one of the best turning boards I've ever been on. I mean, it's not for everyone, and it's not just a straight carving board, but I was just like swooping around, making all these turns, and like it was funny because midday I switched boards to the ride kink to go ride park, and I was coming back down to this cat track, and I could see my giant Euro carve where I came around and had to go slightly back uphill to hit this cat track to cut over, and I just left a trench, and it was the most beautiful looking turn. I was just like, I stopped and I took it all in, you know. It was one of those things. But yeah, these guys, they don't know how to fucking snowboard. And everything steers off your back foot when you ride with your weight all the way on your back foot. Like, it's amazing when you put your weight forward. My friend Bruce said it best the other day. I was like, we were joking around and shit, and I was like, yeah, I'm a really horrible snowboarder. And he goes, you look like Ross Powers in 1998 riding the half pipe. Your upper body is stiff, but your legs, just that swooping turn, you know how to turn. And I was like, that is one of the nicest things anyone has ever said about my riding, because I think my riding looks like shit. But yeah, so there's that. Okay. Lek Duong Manile. What's the best size board for someone that's 168 for freestyle all mountain riding? 55 to 57. That would be where I'd be. You could even go down to a 54. So let's just do 54 to 57 would be the ideal run. Okay. Eric Kostinen. In Sweden, cross-country skiers have had an ongoing debate on waxing versus other methods. If you are interested in the science, Kuzmin.se has a paper. I'm not interested. I know what works for me. I don't wax. Good structure. Throw the board down, let it cool down, slide it back and forth before you hop on the chair. It was funny. The other day, I actually rode a board that was waxed and tuned, and I stuck. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Weirdest fucking feeling. Well, all right. Eric, you won yourself a medium sticker pack with that one. You know the drill. Email me, info@angrysnowboarder, and I'll get that in the mail to you. Let's see. So we got Caspian K. Avran, do you like the crew at Dard, assuming it's floaty, fun, and pow, and not just a carving board? Haven't ridden it yet. Still sitting in the wrapper in the hallway. Was going to try to ride it this week. My knee took a little bit more of a hammering, and I know how stiff those things are, so I've been riding a bunch of soft jib boards, just playing around on that. I don't think I'll get on that till probably next week now. Let's see. Oh, fuck it. We'll take a few more questions before we get out of here. Just Bragg, is Jones Mind Expander too soft to be a go-to freeride board even with a really surfy style, or should I just step right up to the L-train? Depends how soft you want to go. In all honesty, it's soft. Like that nose is just super flappy. It also isn't really the best on groomer or firm snow. Like you really have to, because you lose so much effective edge in there, you're really just throwing your weight into it to get it to turn. Let's see. Corey Moore, when the K2 Thraxis boots are brand new, can you loosely lace them so they won't be as stiff until they start breaking? You mean have a sloppy ass fit so your foot's slopping around in there and you have no power? Sure, you can do whatever you want. It's got 3 boas. You can customize it how you want. Don't know why you would do that. Noah Mertens, can you base grind the 3BT on battalion? You can. But you need to have, I think it's grind right. Wintersteiger might, but you need to be able to take the feed wheel. And so what you got to do is you're going to take, the feed wheel should be in 3 sections. So you're going to take off the 2 sections, put the pressure, and you're going to do one side, and you're going to pass that through. Then you're going to move the feed wheel to the middle, do the middle section. Then you got to move it over. It's a pain in the ass to stone grind it. You can do it. I've done it numerous times. I used to charge more for people because I'd just be like, yo, this is going to take like 3 times the work. And it's going to throw off my day. So I would charge more for it. So just be prepared. Let's see. Julian Banjas, remember the old Nitro Pantera board? I have a Pantera sitting in my bedroom that I need to ride tomorrow. So there's a review of that coming. They still make it. I used to have it. That thing was meant to terrorize fat skiers. That board had a meaning. Yeah, no, that board's going to just haul ass. I know it. So, yeah. All right. Michael Traumator, how does the DOA and Mercury compare to their ability to lock into a press? I know the Mercury is stiffer, but I wonder if the bigger rocker section helps. You just got to get your weight out a little bit more and balance over it, and it'll lock in. Personally, I mean, if you're going to go jib, you probably want the DOA. It's a better jibbing board all the way around. Let's see what else we got here. Well, this is actually interesting from Eric Kostinen about that Swedish paper from cross-country skiers and waxing, not waxing, but he basically says, this paper supports not waxing. Base material is more hydrophobic than wax, and a clean and structured base is faster for longer. Basically, waxing is only useful for the first 0.5 kilometers. That's science. And that's what I've been saying. And people try to argue with me. Let's see. Bernard Kellisuk. I'm pretty good at carving and general riding. However, I'm only decent switch, and the park scares me. I mostly ride alone and have trouble pushing myself to progress and become a better rider. Tips: scare yourself once a day. Even if it's small, scare yourself once a day. Just find one feature that is slightly out of your comfort zone, but you know you can hit, and scare yourself with it. And do that over and over again. Either that, or maybe it's time to suck it up, pay for a park lesson, or find a local ripper, maybe a shop guy, bribe him with some beer and ramen, and have him go ride with you. All right. Let's see. All right. Anyways, I think we're gonna get out of here. I want to go. I gotta call my mom, and I gotta cook dinner. I got chicken cordon bleus. It makes chicken cordon bleu, baked potatoes, and green beans. So we're going to get out of here. But thanks again for all the support, guys. Once I get the Discord set up, I'll be pushing that so we can kind of keep a community chat thing going on for all of us in there. But if you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really want to support us and just help us grow out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. Hopefully I answered everyone's questions. If not, I'll be back next Thursday to do that. And we're just going to go from there and keep an eye out for all the videos we got coming out. And I'll see you in another video.